Hi, I'm Jeremy. Welcome to our farm, Cornucopia Orchards. So continuing to plug away at little bits at a time, and apparently what caught my fancy today was plumbing. So we're working on the shower in the main bath. We're going to be getting a whole bunch of other parts in pretty quick here, and that will let us put in all the bases, the walls, and get them basically ready to put under test. We won't have the water heaters in anytime soon, so you'd essentially just be testing the one side. But 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think that's all that's required. So we've got the valve in, and I went with a belt and suspenders on this guy. I hate when these things leak and having to pull them all off and do them again. Just got these stuffed for now because I've still got to drill the 2 holes up here because it's a vertical coming down for the hot and cold. But we're installed, and I used both the pipe dope and the tape. And I've had good luck with either one individually in the past. I just don't want to deal with it. So we're doing both. I had copper left. This is real nice and solid, just a push connect. I had a kit, and then secured on the back of this board. It'll be that way for the 2 PEXs coming in. And this I put up here, and this is something that you might choose to do. We chose to do it so that we could see exactly how high it was going to be relative to us. We would prefer not to bang our heads on it, having rented too many places and lived too many places where, that's kind of the case where we're in the shower and inside of the shower, nevertheless, we're more like hitting our heads on it. So this is up high enough that, I add 2 inches and it'll just about be perfect for me. And I'm the tallest person who's probable to be using this shower, but with a slight angle, it should still be very pleasant for anybody else who is taller. All right, so that's been secured and nailed in. Let me show you what we're looking at here. I got, more than enough space in here. Every 16 inches or thereabout should be on the joists, and you need every 32 inches for support for horizontal. So it comes through there, and I squeezed up into there. I've got a bunch more to do. Gave it a little gentle corner here, coming on down, and then here I give myself some extra before I cut it. That way I can kind of work it a little bit and then get it into position. And I'll probably push it out at the top and then pull it back in on the actual cut once I know how long I want it to be. And then we're good to go on this one, our very first one. And if I work each of these one at a time and just don't, run a bunch of pipe or put in a bunch more of these, here at the main piece here, then I can start knocking them out, and less chance of getting stuff inside material. And that's the worst, to have to flush that out of a shower valve if you don't discover it in the rough. We've got a very friendly plant here that keeps us company here in the house. It is a avocado. I want to say guacamole, but I don't think that's how that works, is it?
Not usually.
It is an avocado grown from seed, actually. And we had it out in our little garden area, and the boys left the gate open at one point, and the deer nommed on it pretty heavily. And so it's in here with us now, and it seems to be doing pretty well given the sad life it's had. This little bitty top piece here tells me that it's going to keep growing upwards. It didn't get too badly damaged, just lost its top foliage. And Casey is working on all of the 3-way wiring. I don't know how she got assigned to that task, but yeah, that's what she's been plugging away at. And we're going through the bathrooms and anywhere else that has a fixture like that where, there's no reason to not go ahead and put in the light right now. Whereas like with these, where it's a canless recessed light where we cut in the hole and put it up into the ceiling with the little clamps, it doesn't make as much sense to do that right now and then just have to rip it apart again. All we're doing on that up there is essentially just taking the light bulb out if we felt like we needed to protect it or something, and maybe the white tray So we're gonna get some more light up into here, not have to rely on that upstairs as well. The top floor, it's pretty much all cans. So when I feel like it, I can get the bulbs for all of those and we can have as much light up there as we want doing work in the attic area. So we got some progress. I did end up running everything that needed to break through the fire blocking. I wanted to get that out of the way since that's super annoying stuff. I hate having to do it, but that's what the fire block foam is for. I got this guy. That's just the ice machine for the line for the fridge. This is all plumbed in and done and came out pretty nice. Got that one wrapped over. These two lines for the sink and then also teeing over to the toilet, they're roughed. I don't have the tee, so I'm not gonna bother. And then that's probably not where I'm gonna keep that. I'd like that to be over here to put it more just off-centered of the side of behind the toilet. That's pretty much always where I try and run it. It's about right there. So that's temp. And I did have to take out a piece of blocking there in order to move. You can see that I'd had a mark and I had to move this thing over. So I had to get that blocking out of there in order to secure that piece in there. But they're all secured in, lines up. Next one I'm gonna do here on the first floor is either down and under and all of this work, because there's a bunch of faucets on this side, one up here and then 1, 2, and then actually one we plan to be hot, just because it's nice to have one hot faucet on the outside of the house. And then we need lines over to the laundry. Got to get them over here and into this box, for which we will probably run through here, is my guess. And right now I'm working on up here, right above us. You can see from these two beams, there's a load condition. In this case, it's the stairs. And in between the stairs, we've got 2 holes there, and then there's a hole there and there. And that is for our water heater that's on the 2nd floor. So that sits, let's see, right here. There's the power coming in for it. So right above, in between in the stairs, right up there. We'll go take a look at that and I'll explain what we're doing. So one of the things that we wanted to do is in our last house, we had 2, I think 40-gallon, maybe one was a 40, one a 30, older cheapo water heaters. But because we had 2, it worked really well. When I redid the plumbing in that house, I ran, I think there were 3 showers, and of course then you have your laundry and everything else. And I just split the load right down the middle. And it worked out great as far as having plenty of hot water. This house, I could have put in 2 in sequence, and I'm not doing that. I'm gonna make it zonal, but if one fails, I'm gonna pipe them together such that if there is one that's not functioning, the other one can push water back down the line, and then the valve that's at the water heater will prevent it from putting pressure in reverse into that water heater. You know, so if we have one that goes down, or I mean, even something like, let's say there's guests downstairs and for some reason we've run out of hot water and we don't want them to have to come into our master suite or use the kids' bath, we could turn the valve and then they could access the water heater that's supplying the upstairs while the other water heater recovers. So it's a very versatile system, and I like that aspect of it. And here's how we're setting it up here in the closet. So I built this little pony wall, and behind it, there's the 2 holes. And then we're gonna run up the 2 sides here, making sure we have plenty of space to prevent nails or anything else from hitting these from either side. And we should be at just the right spacing for that. Up here, the blue's gonna punch over and then come down right here. And then you've got your hot water right here, obviously. Here's the water heater. It's about this tall. So you can see that. That's the height of this water heater that we've selected out. And it's kind of a tight little space in this closet in the midst of our master suite, which has plenty of space. You know, we've got this full closet in here for the two of us, and that's more than, I mean, I could fit my stuff in this room alone. And so the water heater takes up the corner. There's still room to get in, and then we're gonna have a rod to hang like winter stuff on here. And then back in here, you can see back there that I've got a section hanging down. I'm missing the T to connect these in. That's gonna tee off and go down through that hole. And then that's where the water heater lines are gonna go back to the other water heater and join. And that piece right there is the supply for everything, almost everything that's upstairs. I did decide to put the kids' sink, hot water on the other water heater. It just ended up working out a little bit better, I felt. And more will equalize out the mix a little bit. So having that in that little space back there at the back of the closet means that if I want, I can, and I do, I can build out and put a little door on that space behind me such that you can access all of those valves, and otherwise it can be out of sight, which obviously we have them all on display in the closet downstairs. That's too big of a unit for me to have hidden that other than just putting it in the closet. But it's nice to have it in the back of the closet behind the wall. It protects it from damage. And that back there is a great place for us to hide stuff. We could hide important documents or Christmas presents or small children when they're misbehaving. So this is extra special to do one-handed, I'll tell you. These blue and red 3/4 inch lines are very much non-flexible. Just enough to where you can make it work if you had enough curve, but I'm gonna be definitely doing a whole lot of cornering in general with these as I get the lines where they're going. So this one's gonna be kind of interesting. Probably gonna have to push this back up. I put way too much down here without really thinking about that, because I gotta get this to go through. And I'm probably gonna take the lower hole for the blue here so that it doesn't have to bend so much to get it to go in. But yeah, I gotta put this back up there. I'm gonna do that again. We're gonna be fighting the natural coil too, which is too bad, but what are you gonna do? Maybe if I can turn it a little more. Straighten it out. Oh. Gotta get closer. There we go. We're all the way through. Now it's just convincing it to come down and go through. Oh yeah, this is fun. So up in here, I've got 4 1/2-inch lines, 2 HVAC pipes. I have Ethernet, I have some power in the vicinity, and I gotta snake this all through and make it turn and get over there to that closet. And I was dreading having to do this 3/4 for that reason, because it's hard to get up into the space. All right, and here we are up underneath, and you can see here's the pipe I'm working on, and I've got a bunch of pipes coming. These 2 here go down to the shower, and the blue and the red here that go overhead go to the sink and the toilet. And there's my little space. I gotta get these 2 more pipes through, just those 2, and then I'm done with this void for plumbing and pretty much done for electrical. And at least this half I'm done for HVAC, so that's a great feeling. Did not hit record. It's going to show you how inflexible this pipe is. It's 3/4. This is a Pex B. So Pex A is a more flexible pipe, and it's used by professionals, of which I'm not one. It is something that requires a tool to expand the pipe temporarily, and then you clamp it at the ends. The fittings are cheaper. I'm not 100% sure how much the tool costs, somewhere between, I don't know, maybe $80 and $120. I think I looked at one at one point, and I am not opposed to that style of Pex. There's a lot of reasons why it's a better choice than Pex B, but I am familiar with Pex B, and with everything else we were taking on with this project, I wanted to have at least one thing that I've done multiple times that I knew and I could largely just do it, and that's plumbing. So I've only done electrical once before this, and I've never done most of the HVAC work. I've just run flex duct. So having something familiar to me, even if it's a pain in the backside, it's still way better than CPVC. I did one house with CPVC. I will never touch it again if I can avoid it. It's so brittle. It just shatters. I hate it. So here's that pipe, and this is where it's going. And so I got to get that other pipe to back off of here, and then I got to get this last leg to arch more, or I could flatten it out up higher and just corner it off. We're real close on this, and I think I can make it corner out the way I want to without damaging it. So that's what we're probably going to do here. I do got to back it off enough to get it around this little 1/2 inch though. I want to make that happen. There we go, because it needs to be up on top of there, I think. That's perfect. Now I can nail it off up here, give it that support. I can nail it off here even if I want. You know, we should be, make sure that interior sleeve is going to line up nicely if I can. Should be ready to go. Yep, perfect. That's great. That is not going to have pressure on this joint now, so I am going to go ahead and nail that off on both locations to support it. And I like these little grip rights because they clip on and they stay there. It's not like a basic electrical staple. So now we've got that. I got to cut this. So I got to figure out roughly how long it needs to be. And then I got to do a lot of work on this. I can guarantee you that's going to be more than enough. And we're going to cut that. Poor old husky has seen better days. Oh my, I have not seen this do that before. It actually gave it an abrasive edge. Didn't cut it right. I have to manually open this, so I guess this time maybe this husky went away. That's better. Okay. I don't know why I did that. I'm probably gonna have to cut it again. All right, well, let's get this in here, see if I can get this to go up and around like I want it to. Well, I don't know, we'll see. That's tight. I think I can get it. I think I can. Yeah. There we go. All right. So it's got its own natural curl, and I gotta be careful or I will damage it. But we got to tell it what shape we want it to have. I'm just going to start up here. Work my way down. Point in the right direction. Whatever the curve it has on a given spot, I'm just putting my hand behind it and then leveraging it up to get rid of that curve, or at least to make it less. Yeah. And with these little attachment pieces, you kind of gotta do what you can to anticipate which way the pipe's gonna wanna move. And you want that to rest against the side that has the nail, if it's just a one side like this is. There's a nail that's sticking up a hair. I don't want that in the back of the pipe. I think if I bend this aggressive enough, I can get this to go up in and have a little blue sticking down that I can clamp onto. So we're gonna cut off maybe this much. I'm gonna go get that elbow and we'll get that on. Okay, so I'm gonna pre-attach, make my life a little easier. Then we gotta get this guy. Oh yeah. Just like that. I don't like quite that much on the end though. I'm all out of red pipe, 3/4. So, you know, they commonly come in rolls and they come in sticks, and you can get 20-foot sticks and 100-foot or 330-foot. I think it's 300 or 330-foot rolls. And the rolls are great for the half because you can still bend it whatever shape you want. I do like buying a couple of sticks because then you don't have to try and monkey with getting an end straight, you know, trying to straighten it out if you want it to come out straight. So like if you're doing the standout from the wall for a sink or, you know, something like that, right off where you're going to attach into it, you know, in those circumstances and for stuff like this, I do prefer the other thing. Now, there is one more thing. I'm probably gonna do it for all of the sinks and toilet and everything like that. I'm probably gonna get a copper pipe for those standouts from the wall because it looks nicer. And for this, I might get a short one. I think they make short cuts, like 2 foot, in which case I wouldn't be wasting a lot. I mean, you're still spending most of the cost of a full size one, an 8-foot or a 10-foot or whatever they come in, but I might. Pex is rated to be near a water heater, so I'm not worried about that. Although I am doing a braided mesh, you know, just a regular non-Pex, non-plastic connection from the 18 inches to the water heater top. It's not CPVC. They used to say, and I don't know if they still do, they used to say that CPVC was rated to be right next to a water heater, but I had seen a pipe that was supposed to be 3/4 that was this big around. You know, it had grown a full 1/2 inch or more, and there was one part where it was even bigger than that. It bulbed, and it was gonna fail, and that was like 10 years in use, so not even that, maybe 8 years in use, I think. So no CPVC for me. Thanks for watching. watching. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.